my channel.
So this is the first part in my hashtag series for Crazy Kerby-a-thon. So this is happening all in the month of February. Yes, February is a shorter month and I probably should have picked another month, but I fancied a Kerby. Anyway, I picked Imagine Morphia to do first now, and I've picked one out of, I think it's Worlds Within Worlds. I've picked one out of there already as well. But today I'm going to work on this one. Now, I did think maybe collage and show you how I do that, but I'm going astray from that idea and I'm going to do Galaxy watercolour painting for all of the antlers, and then all of the background will be black acrylic. So I need to make these antlers really pop from the page. Now I'm going to do the watercolour first, because if I don't, then I'll end up getting watercolour on the black acrylic, whereas if I get watercolour, so here by accident, I can cover it up with the black acrylic. Now I have just noticed, just this second, that there's a bow there, like for one of the secret things that he hides in his pages. So I'm going to have to take that into account maybe. I'll just go over the top. We shall see. I do need to get my protective sheets ready. So I've got two of these, one for either side, just so it doesn't go on this page, let's say, because the antlers go right into the corner. So I want to start off. I've just got a new Daniel Smith watercolour, which one was it now? Is it Indigo? Payne's Grey, sorry. Payne's Grey I got, and I really like this colour in every other watercolour set that I've tried. Words. So I wanted to try that, so that's the wet. So I'll do each antler one at a time, I think, or I'll just do maybe this portion, because I think it'll take me a little while, but we'll see. I've got a couple of different brushes. I'm using the Princeton Neptune ones. I really enjoy using these. So I've got a size 2, a size 4 and a jump up to a size 12, and I think I'll use the 12 for just popping the clean water down. Let's see if I've got a medium brush. That might be a medium, it might be too big for a medium, so I'll stick with these three for now and see how we get on. Now, please excuse my very messy palette. You can tell that it gets used a lot. I'm not going to wet the indigo because that's straight from the tube, so I'm going to pick that up and mix it on here. But what other colours? I think we'll go for blues, reds and purples. Them sort of colours that I feel more comfortable. Oh, and a black. We'll have black. Now, I do believe that my black that I'm using is a tube. See, I'm getting all mixed up. I've got a Payne's Grey in the Cotton. I have got a Mars Black in the Winsor & Newton Professional line. So that's these ones here. So let's just get started. So all I want to do, it's not perfectly clean, this water. It's got a tinge of pink to it still, but it'll be absolutely fine for what we're using it for. So I'm wondering, because the pages it's going up a little bit, it's causing a bit of a hump. Now, I'm just wondering whether I should clamp it down. See, I was organised. Well, I thought I was. Apparently I wasn't. So I've got a clamp here, so let's clamp this down. And we'll leave that there. And then just pop this over the top, push the page down, just like so. But I want this to be moved down, because I need as much room as possible. So I'll do this one first and then work my way over. So with clean-ish water, get all of my brushes ready, and then just an old cloth just for wiping off. So I want to take off most of that excess of water that's on this brush. Now these brushes do hold a lot of water, so I want to try and stay inside the lines with just this clean water. You might have to lift it up to the light to see where you've placed it. The reason that I'm saying it's to stay in the lines, I have to move that for now, is because once you've put your paint down on there, that paint is going to want to move. So you want the water, it's sort of difficult with watercolour because it is going to sort of do its own thing, but you can give it like a little nudge in the right direction So I'm lifting up just to see in the light. You can just see it glistening just about where I've placed that water. I'm going to go over the top again because this is not watercolour paper. I have to do it a couple of times, whereas if it was watercolour paper, I just do it once. So just be careful where I'm placing that. So I want my medium brush now. I want to go straight into that indigo and pop a base layer of that down. And just get this all over. It's a very, very light layer. Nothing too crazy. Again, you want to try your best to stay in the lines. It's not too bad on this area because I am going to go over with the Mars Black. Not the Mars Black. Is it Mars Black or Lamp Black? Lamp Black it is called. That is the best black acrylic. I need to get another one of that. I've been using a lot of it in paint pouring. So into the purple now, straight from the pan. I'm not worrying about mixing the colours or anything. Just straight from the pan. A little bit of a darker shade. And you will notice that a lot of water is going down at this point. But that's what gives it that effect of like blending it into each other. It really does work beautifully. So I'll move that around a bit. Now I want a little bit of blue. Make sure there's enough on the brush. Need a little bit more than that. And just mix it and move it around. More purple. It's just very random where you're popping it. Cleaning off my brush and going into the indigo again. Just to darken some areas up. And that is basically it. And you want to add your stars. You can either do the splatter effect with the stars, or you could use a gel pen, I suppose, because it would be quite difficult to not get it everywhere else with the splatter effect. I do want it to be a tad darker in some areas. So, see how I've got out the line a little bit there? I'm not too worried because the acrylic paint will cover that up. So I'll leave that for now. It will dry lighter than that. So in with my bigger brush. And if you touch, let's say if I touched that corner with this bit, that colour is going to bleed. If I do it in a minute to show you, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. If I move the paper just to see where this water's going. But if I touch that over here, you see how it starts to blend into the other side and bleed. Well, that's not too bad because we're working in the same colour, so it's absolutely fine. So more of that was it indigo? Indigo, yeah. Or was it Payne's Grey? I'm forgetting now. Let me check. It is Payne's Grey. Payne's Blue Grey. Yeah. Getting so confused, all these different colours. We'll bring it round here. Same idea as last time. You just want to put a base of this down. Get up to the edges. You don't really want the white of the paper showing with this. But in some instances you do with the watercolour galaxies. Sometimes you do want the white to show through, but I don't this time. So I'm going straight from the pan here. I'm not mixing any colours, I'm just using what's already there. And then more of the darker shade. There we go, I'm quite happy with that. So again, with this one, I think I'm better starting from this side and then going maybe halfway down, just so the paper doesn't dry, and then do the other side. So I'm missing a little bit there. That should be alright. I'm going to use my bigger brush this time. See it bleeding? I love it when it does that. It's just doing its own thing. So where did I put it up to? Just about there. And then I want some of the blue. I can put it down and start blending these colours. And the dog's snoring. Some more purple up here. A little bit more. I really like the colour of that purple. Beautiful. And then in with some blue. Right, let's get this side all damp as well. I don't mind if the colours bleed now, it's all gonna look alright in the end. I'm just using what is ever on my paintbrush now, I'm not dipped in, just to get that base down. And I swear my phone goes off every time that I film. Oh, it wasn't my phone that time, with the iPad. So some more purple. And then with that indigo. You can see where the paper's starting to buckle now. You can see the puddles forming. But this paper takes the water pretty well, I'm not too worried. So I'll let this all bleed into this last antler. And then I want some purple. And then a bit of blue. And let's darken it up a little bit, just very random. Again, I don't mind about this because it's going to get covered up anywhere. But that's that side done. So we can move over to the other side now. But it's really simple. And as you can see, it has started drying ever so slightly there now. So it will start to lighten. Now what I think I'll do is I'll do this side off camera actually, because it's going to be difficult for me to film, and then I'll come back when this is completely dry and then do some of the star detailing and then make a start on the black acrylic. So I did cheat a little bit then, I used the heat gun, I ended up using the heat gun, and I even did all these areas, and I've just realised I've missed that, but I'm going to go over it with black acrylic because I've put all my paints away now and it's dry. But before we do this, I want to do the white dots. Now I might be chancing my luck here doing this, but this is the way I want to do it. And sorry walls, you're probably going to get splattered on. So I best get the wipes out. Put these plastic sheets over just to protect the actual illustrations. And I think I will use again, I used this the other day, the Dr. Phil, Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White on a, I'm not going to use this, I pulled out a scrap piece of paper so I can put my black onto that. I don't like putting black into these palettes, that's just watercolour, dried up watercolour. But if I just use this for this palette, that should be alright. So I want a quite stiff brush that's got leftovers from the weekend, from the stream. So I'll pick in a bit of this up. and popping it, I'll pop it into there while it's already got the white in. That should be enough, you only need a tiny, tiny amount. And then water. And just mix this up. It does get messy this, I'm not going to lie, it does get messy. So I'll try and make sure that you're all in frame. So move everything out of the way. And just splatter these on. Just to create some stars. Need a little bit more. Whoops, see, I told you it gets messy. Just like this. Move that out of the way. See, I've made way too much here. See, I added more onto the brush, so I'm getting bigger splatters. But that's what I'm going for, just a variation of different sizes. So let's clean my finger because I'll end up forgetting about that and rubbing it all over my top. I've done that before, believe me, and with the black as well. So now that we've done that portion, I'm going to have to use the heat gun again, but I'll show you before I do that so I'm not doing it in two different steps. Let's move this out of the way and just get my scrap piece of paper, fold it just so it creates an indent, and I'll do a little portion of this on camera and then I'll just do the rest. I don't think I'll speed it up, I'll just do a portion on the camera and then I'll just do the rest in my own time, but you'll get the idea of it. So I know that we're going to use a decent amount of this paint, and I'm just using it straight from the bottle, and I need an old brush. I don't like using my watercolour brushes. Do not use your nice watercolour brushes with this because it will wreck your paint brushes. So I'll start off with a small one and then we can move on to the light, but first of all let's get this dried. So that should be dry enough, and I'll do these areas just so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like without spilling everything and moving everything everywhere. So my small paintbrush, I'm just going to dampen it just to make it easier to work with. And we'll do this bit first. My radiators are kicking in. It's a chilly willy day today, but thank God that window's gone anyway. It's been absolutely horrendous that, to be honest. So this is why you want your small brush, just to get in all these little details. Now this one. I was quite messy with the other side with the watercolour, but it doesn't matter. It's all going to be covered. Then we'll do a little bit around this bit. That's when you know I'm concentrating. I've gone super quiet. I might even need a smaller brush at this rate. I'm going over too many different areas, I think. Let's see if we can get away with this. Right, well, I'm gonna have to cover that bit up. Never mind. But you get the idea there. And then this portion. It is easier to work with if you add a little bit of water, but then it might be too thin and it won't cover up what you want it to cover up. So I just find it best just using it straight from the bottle. Tiny portion at the top there that I might struggle with. I know you might not be able to see this. Let's move it down now. There's a tiny bit at the top there. Just lifting the paper up and then it doesn't go on the opposite side because I've moved the I have moved the plastic sheets now. With me using the heat gun, you don't want to have them plastic sheets underneath. They will melt. So we'll do this bit. We managed that bit just fine. I was worried about that ladybird. I'll move on to the bigger brush in a minute. Just trying to get that as straight as possible. It's difficult because I would have usually moved the boot for a better angle. I'll take off the excess and move on to my bigger brush. Can I put the plastic sheet on? It should be fine, that. What might look good as well if we add stars over the black, depending what the rest of the image looks like anyway. It might be a little bit too much. We shall see. That's that bit done. Now you're going to get a good idea there of what it's going to look like, the whole thing, when it's done. There's a big portion of me to do there, so I think if I film that it's going to take me forever and a day. So if I do that off camera, and I'm not sure about the deers. I'm not sure about the deers, reindeers. Yeah, what colour to go for. Maybe just go for more of a realistic colour because the horns are so out there. Maybe. Let's get this bit done. There's a tiny bit in the corner there. double checking that I've not missed any bits. I don't think I have. So you get the idea anyway. It's really easy to do though, and really fun. But that's the idea anyway. I think what I'll do is I will come back when it's all done. It'll probably be later on this evening, so if there's a difference in the lighting, then you know why. So we are later in the day now, but I've managed to finish this. There's a couple of bits that aren't dry that you'll see that's still a bit shiny, but I think the overall effect is really cool. But I do think that I want to add some of the white splatters, just a couple, and we'll just do the same thing. We'll have to be a little bit more careful. So which brush was I using? It was this one, and it's been in my water this whole time, so I'll try and get as much water off the brush as possible. It's just really effective, and it's just easy to do this way. Try and get you all in the frame. I think I need to start putting my tripod higher up, but I don't know if I'll be able to now because I've got a big picture on the wall. So I'm a bit nervous about this now, but let's just go for it. Just add a couple, just like sprinkles, sprinkle like icing sugar a little bit. And then, so we can do this bottom bit as well. Let's just move these out the way now and just be a little bit more careful. And do these areas. Just a few little speckles. Just as something. A few more up here. And you get the idea. Let's wipe off the brush and my finger. But that's that whole background done, and more or less it's half the page done, and I think that'll look really cool once it's done. I may even, as I know I said that I'm going to go neutral, I think I'm going to go like for like purple, lavender or blue or something for these, and then go for greys for that, or make them glow even. I don't know, the possibilities are endless now that I've done this background. And I've said this a couple of times, sometimes if you're scared to start a page, or you're nervous, or you don't know what colours to use, just do the background, and the rest of the picture will just pop out, and that'll give you a good idea of what to do. But if you enjoyed this video, please do leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out. But until next time, I will see you in my next one. Bye.